go. I did not. What's up, y'all? I did not mean to hit start yet. I was actually calling Dr. Randy Short to see if he was ready, but I hit start by accident. Oh my! So thank y'all for being here. I am going to get started in a second. Yeah, I'm going to get started in a second. We're a little early. We are. So can y'all do me a favor and share the space? Please do me a favor and share the space as we get here, as we start a little early on this evening. I was actually on the way out to my. Hey, damn! I'm on. He's like, shit. I ran out of weed. I was going back to my backup stash out in the other room. Like, shit. And this hit starts. Anyway, Dr. Short just got notified, and so I just texted him. So he will be here in a little bit. What's up, Nikki? If you can co-host, that'll be dope. Nikki, that's a valuable person right there, boy. Shit. Nikki be keeping shit in line.
Hello, Dwan.
How you doing today, Nikki?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. What's up, Isla? Isla, you put up a tweet last week where you said people say you look like Morticia from that show Wednesday. And I didn't pay attention, but my nieces were watching Wednesday last week. And I was like, oh, that's who she talking about. Yeah, the profile picture. I can see from based on the profile picture why someone would say that.
Isla is drop dead gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah, I remember meeting Isla in DC. Like, nah, she don't look like Morticia on them. But I say I can see how people can say that because of the black and white part of the thing. You know, people. All you needed something to be the same color. Somebody be like, you look like her. Like, yeah. But salute to Isla. Here we go. Dr. Randy Short. There we go. There we go. Yeah, but salute to all y'all. I like Isla's Twitter. She be having me. It be random shit on her Twitter. I'd be like, oh, that shit's funny.
Yeah, she had T.I.'s wife on there today. I was trying not to speak on it, so I just kept scrolling because I didn't want to say nothing about her butt. So I
Oh,
just
she
kept
did. I
going.
didn't see that. I didn't see that. See, I don't want to. I don't want to say negative about nothing, nobody's wife, and nothing like that. But she do. She do kind of look like Smokey Robinson. T.I.'s like. There's a couple pictures where she kind of looked like Smokey Robinson. I was like, hey. But hey, I'm just cracking jokes. Don't nobody go away and tweet this shit. Hey, Dwan said, just a joke. Shit. Anyway, Dr. Short is here. What's up, Dr. Short?
Hold on. You said that she looks like Smokey Robinson.
Yes, T.I.'s wife. You kind of yeah. She kind of has
That means that means he didn't shop around.
that. My mama told me you better shop around. Shop. Oh yeah. But
Don't get yourself a bargain, son. Don't get sold on the ugliest one. Try to find one who don't look like they're thugging. Don't say I do. Yeah. Make sure she's not ugly too
my
now.
mama
My
told me
mama told
you
me
better shop
you better
around.
shop around. I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Sometimes the spirit takes over. Sometimes the spirit takes over.
Oh, but it's the spirit. I just want to say to y'all, I had a near death situation again this year. This would be self-inflicted. I found out one of my great, 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 great grandfathers was a black Confederate soldier. And everybody knows I hate coons. I almost felt like the end of my life having a coon that bad in my family. And the nigga got a pension too
Oh shit.
for fighting for slavery. Damn, I was like, oh man, I'm glad we didn't have any bad chemicals in the house and all the knives are dull because my mother leaves them in the water instead of washing them before she goes to sleep. So I'm still here.
Good, man. We all have them. We all have them in our family. We can't.
Oh my God. I know I have a bunch of them, I mean, I could, this, I'm telling you, this white gentleman, I think I told you, Stonewall Jackson and Robert E.
Uh-huh.
Lee. I knew about John, and now I've got other Confederates. There's another one that got shot dead in Georgia. Well, go Union. Okay, right.
Uh-huh.
So, oh my God. Oh
So
Lord.
you
Oh
related
my
to
God.
Stonewall Jackson, not Stony Jackson. Oh Lord.
No, well, you know what? All the lie in his hair. I mean, he could have fought a war himself. Oh my God. Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, so I want to
Okay.
set the foundation for the people in here. We're gonna set the foundation. We're gonna talk, and I'm gonna also have some of you guys speak. We're reviewing the year 2022. We're gonna talk about some of the things, some of the big news that happened this year. Get some of my opinions, get some of Dr. Short's opinions on those, get some of you guys' opinions, and just know that Nikki's our co-host, and when you get invited to speak, feel free to speak, but you will not speak. I don't want you to think because I'm talking for a long time, or Dr. Short's talking for a long time, you gonna get to talk just as long. Nah, you can come up and speak, say what you got to say, and then we're gonna keep the room going because I want to get as many people to speak as possible. So no, we're not gonna allow anyone to go on a 7 minute long soliloquy about how they feel and have a preaching sermon and all that shit. We're gonna be focused on what Dr. Short has to say, but we do still at the same time want to hear what you guys have to say. But we're talking about the year in review, how we started the year and where we ended off right now. Some of the big news. Who were some of the major coons of the year? Who are the ones that the people who sold us out the most this year? We're going, is it going to be a Ralph Warnock? Is it going to be Lori Lightfoot? Which ones is it going? Kamala Harris? We're gonna have that kind of discussion, but we're gonna keep it informative. We're gonna keep it fun. And again, we're gonna definitely want to hear what you guys got to say on top of that. But Dr. Shore, we started this year talking about, what's going on about the midterm elections. We started the year saying that the want to lose their seats, and we started the year talking about how, Warnock is going to be off when his race came. Whoever he was running against, it was going to be tough. So a lot of things that we started the year talking about saying was going to come has actually come through. What are some highlights to you this year, Dr. Short, that we came into the year talking about that stick in your mind right now?
Well, what sticks to my mind is that Stacey Abrams, that Afrocentric sumo wrestler looking cross between herself and Rasputia and, some Japanese person that's it, too many chitlins, that she lost. I mean, just seeing Stacey lose and her twerking, I'm serious. I think she's the one that caused the earthquakes on the West Coast. Just to see Stacey lose after all that, giving the finger to brothers and all that, giving the finger to our Wazi sisters like Sister Isla and the other Sister Kim and the others that are on here and Sister Nikki. It was good to see Stacey lose. It was also very good to see a range of people be humbled this year. It was really nice. And Warnock, who looks like a psychotic, homoerotic Mr. Potato Head, just barely got it, if he actually got it. And, and they want him in. Anytime you can take your campaign money and pay late arrearment in alimony and child support and nobody make a story, they want that punk in there real bad. And I don't know who he's been inside of or who's been inside of him, where they just want him to sit in the seat. And his seat probably has a hole in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right? Who? Well, we know who's behind Warnock, but who is behind Warnock? I mean, for a black person to be able to get in office running a church that has all kind of scandal involved, homelessness, through people sleeping on the damn steps of his church. The same guy who, when it came time to deal with it, we heard about his ex-wife and all these things going on for him to still be black and still get into office with all of that bullshit. That right there off top to let people know that he owes somebody major favors.
Mhm. But and then we got to remember that we just have to say this. I call him White Girl Stalker, aka Herschel Walker. I mean, he is the Special Olympics lifetime achievement decathlon winner, and I believe he'll get an award through the mail by the first of the year as being basically the most uninspiring speaker, and perhaps having lost the only person to run for such a high office with so few brain cells. But he was working it anytime he made Warnock in those tight clothes he had on, sweat. It was kind of interesting, you know. He probably had to wring his thong out after the debate was over because he lost.
Yeah.
But I mean, when a person like that, I'm telling you, I actually think that the stuffed potatoes that they have at Pizza Hut have more going on upstairs than Herschel Walker, and Warnock could barely beat them. This is really something.
That is something right there. And this 2022 show, whether you're a Democrat or a Republican,
I love when you
it,
say that.
yeah, whether you're Democrat or Republican, the Georgia Senate race shows you what they really think about black people, whether the liberals or the
Mhm,
conservatives.
mhm,
The
mhm.
level of black person that they chose to stick their money behind. It wasn't that the most expensive Senate race in like history or something like that.
Oh my God! You know, it's that, and it's other things like, forgive me, Brittany Grinder. That's the only black person that's benefited from Biden being president. And by the way, she's back to being gay now that she's back. She was black when she was in jail. The same way Tiger Woods was Cablination until he got stopped by the police for speeding on high on drugs. So now, I mean, it's this constant disrespect. We just have all of these embarrassments everywhere. In fact, we left out the thing that really upset me is Karen Bass, a Sammy Sosa looking broad. She looks like a cross between Forrest Whitaker and Sammy Sosa. And now she's supposedly
I haven't
mayor
seen
of Los
that ever
Angeles.
since he got in office.
Oh God, man. I mean, just what a bummer. I mean, the white man looks better in the face than she does, and he wears less masculine clothes than she does. Um, just and she said she's going to do something about homelessness. I know what she's going to do is move all the black folks to Arizona. Just it- it's just a nonstop. I mean, I guess the only real option we have is to try to get Ukrainian citizenship so we can get some help out here. I'm just looking all over the country. You got black folks freezing to death up in Buffalo. The water's not safe in Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi. I mean, the water's poison. Water's bad in Philly. Water's bad in Baltimore. Water's bad in D.C. Water's bad everywhere. Just all this stuff happening. All the Negroes that got flooded out in West Florida that never made the news. And by the way, one of the coons is what's his name? Mike McAllister. He's the judge in Columbus, Ohio, who lit the white dude off, who shot this black child in the back of the head and in the back multiple times. Just dropped all charges against him because he said he feared for his life. This guy jumps out of a truck and mows down a 13-year-old boy. And it's a black judge. He's a coon that went to one of these cookie cutter law schools in Ohio with practically no black people in it. There is a black woman legal scholar and historian by the name of Dr. Vernelia Randall that lives in Florida, had talked about the school that Judge McAllister went to. And what's this boy? This boy's name is Cezanne, whatever. Forgive me sisters, stop giving kids fucked up names so we can
What
remember it.
Phase on Love was it?
No, 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 no. I mean, if it had been Face on Love, I'd probably be dancing a Congo line. All right. So, no. Hold on, let me get this child's name. But this kid was shot in the head, and this white dude, they didn't even want to arrest him. It's so sad. And then they get a black judge, and Negroes just voted for him. Oh, we're so stupid. God, I, if I didn't know about social engineering and mind control, man, I'd be the biggest self-hatingest black person because I don't understand what planet Negroes are on, not seeing this stuff.
You just
But
got the short. I want to get you going, but I can't let you go past what you just said. I got to go back to what you just said because you just said some major shit right there that a lot of people truly don't understand. And like they'll see me, like I did a show yesterday talking about the whole Akon thing, and yeah, some black people
you
really
mean
mad. Like,
fake
yeah,
on?
and we'll get to that. We'll get to him. But like I brought that up to say, I had people really ask me like, Dwan, how we know with people with all these things going on in Black America, how can you go at this and how can you talk about these other topics? Well, the reason why it is because I understand social engineering. Two things as we as Black people, I want to say this point before I get back to you, Dr. Short. It's two things I think Black people will go a long way trying our best to understand to keep our minds straight because this shit will fuck with your head if you just see it for what it is. We have to understand two things: social engineering and also how the brain works, which is kind of the same thing. When you understand social engineering and you understand how the brain works and you have a basic understanding of sociology and cultural anthropology and the whole and how they all work together. When you understand that, it makes you, I don't want to say tolerant, but it makes you understanding of what's going on. It makes you understanding of the things going on around us and how people behave and how they act. And it gives you enough of an understanding to not basically want to shoot yourself and hate all black people. Because if you don't understand those things, you will hate. I know I'd hate niggas because you see the way we act and the way we behave towards one another. If you don't have that higher understanding of what's going on, it can really get in our minds. So as a people, I think we'll go a long way understanding social engineering, understanding how that works in our minds, and understanding how to use that to fight against it versus using it to bog us down.
Yes, sir. And this boy's name is Sensei Reed, 13 years old, shot down by a white dude who looks like one of the guys that shot the boy in Brunswick, Georgia, Ahmaud Arbery. It looks like they have another uh, inbred family member that hates black people, but it's a black judge who let him off. I mean, really, we we need to be careful of who we support as a community. And we need to, when we vote, we need to be going for all up and down the ballot, attacking everything. We really need to. By the way, you heard Pele died today, and he's yet another black person who probably got that genocide jab. And that's been I don't know if the biggest coons are the ones pushing all this death on our people, and yet you have tens of thousands of people dropping dead and nobody can say anything about it. I mean, I don't know. I think there's a song, what's it, Chaka Khan's "I'm Every Woman," and we need to have a song, "We're All Coons," or "We're Every Coon." It's just like we have just so many coons that this Biden presidency, I've just seen so much coonery this year. I mean, seeing Negroes go to the Ukraine, but they can't do anything about Baltimore or Chicago or Skid Row, or they can't help the people in New Orleans or Miami or in Atlanta, any place that black folks are in trouble and folk getting shot down in Columbus, Ohio, just nothing. But they're over in Ukraine fighting, and Negroes crying for the Queen, and folks acting like Meghan Markle is Shaka Khan. Come on. It's been a year of delusional coonery. Even these dumbass African leaders who were here in D.C. thinking that they're finally going to be admitted to the white man's club when they're about to make Africa a battlefield for Africans to die, to keep the Chinese from buying minerals from them that the white folks don't want anymore. It's just coonery. I mean, it's everybody's cooning. Did you remember they killed the head of government in Haiti this year? And just
All about that.
cooning, just cooning everywhere. I don't even know where to begin other than to say it's been a coon overload year. I don't think I've seen really anything. I mean, in sports, there was cooning, and you're talking about a gay con or fake con or whatever. That sorry dude,
Let's
and,
keep
and
let's get into him. Let's get into this.
I don't want to get into his ass, but I will. You know, he was talking about setting up his own little fake conda, and and you know, it looks like the west side of Chicago with no buildings. I mean, where the money going, Akon? Your $80 million can't build a $5 billion city. So you know, he's basically a West African Bernie Madoff and shit without the money. I mean, and they're not gonna let him go far. So he's about to get the plug pulled on him. Just, you know, Akon, I don't care if he found little silly homoerotic Lady Gaga or other people. I mean, I'm glad he's gone the fuck back to Africa, and I hope everybody else that hates us goes too. And by the way, don't buy any more of his shit. We need to.
Here's the thing with Akon. Akon, you're right about that. He is
Fake con.
he's someone like I have a friend here in LA who's an audio engineer. He engineers like a lot of music and movies too. The sound, and it's a white boy, actually a Jewish white boy, but he one of the Jewish white boys that break code and send my black ass all bits of information he can tell. And he was telling me about one of his artists that he worked with, how this guy wrote and produced a lot of music that Akon just threw his name on top of, and he never gave him the money. So that's kind of reputation that Akon has around the music industry. He's also one of those scammers who will go around, take someone's music, and throw his name on top. Akon is
Mhm.
somebody who had a 2 or 3 year run over a decade ago, and he wasn't good enough to differentiate himself from T-Pain. He never got out of Roger Troutman's shadows, even though what he did with Auto Tune is nowhere near the same class as what Roger Troutman did with the Talkbox. Two
Mhm.
totally different instruments, but because it gives off a certain sound, people tend to compare the two. Um, and so Akon is somebody who's a scammer. He's someone who's done. He admitted on a Vlad TV interview, and I forgot all about this. I forgot to mention this part of my show. He did on the Vlad TV interview. He talked about how he and his brother, he would send his brother out to be him. So before the internet got and social media got crazy, he'd be double dipping on the money because his brother looks just like him or whatever, and he doesn't sing with his real voice. He sings with that fucking computer. So this is a dude who's a degenerate scammer and
Fraud.
brown and
A slave trading African interloper, culture vulture, brother fucking backstabbing bitch. Fuck him. Yes, I said it in Jesus' name. Let the church say amen. Go
hey
the
man.
fuck back to Africa. Take a boat like we did. Okay? A plane won't get you there fast enough. Okay, we need to cut these people off. We need to talk about some people who have been like crazy this year. By the way, God bless Kyrie Irving.
Yes.
God bless from Hebrew to Negro, the guy that did that. In fact, let me say a group of coons who aren't black. Jewish people have lost their damn mind this year. I don't know what's in the gefilte fish they've been eating. I don't know if there's some LSD put inside the yarmulkes and it's getting in their brain to think. I mean, if you didn't know any better, you would have thought that Adolf Hitler was the inventor of Afro Sheen and that he's some black religious leader and shit. That Jews got gassed in the hood and not by the white folks who they get nose jobs to be around. That's real talk.
Yeah.
It's just like that little fake ass guy, Santos, the little congressman, little punk ass Brazilian, dick sucking congressman who's lied about his parents being Holocaust survivors. See, other people begin to lie about that stuff too. Now, let me be clear. The Holocaust took place. I'm a Holocaust survivor. My great great uncle, Joseph Reddick Short, was tortured and nearly murdered by the Germans in December 1944. Experimented on, as were other unfortunate black men who've never been compensated by the U.S. government. So I by no means am pro-Nazi. I grew up getting, in my parents' household, hate calls from George Lincoln Rockwell's American Nazi Party that was in Northern Virginia, so I'm not a Nazi fan. But having said that, Jewish people are pretending. They're oversensitive and they like being oversensitive. So, and all the people caving, like Whoopi Goldberg, who looks like a slug with dreads. Now she can mouth off at Bill Cosby and every black man that she wants to. And when these dudes told her, you're stupid, you're ignorant, she started apologizing.
Right, right.
And I want to just say, I'm so sick and tired of these strong black women who've got enough mouth to be the Mormon Tabernacle Choir when they're going off on a black man. But when a white person speaks, these hoes be like E.F. Hutton on steroids. Now get it right. Be as aggressive with everybody as you are with your man. Otherwise, shut the hell up if you don't need to speak. And I said the same thing. So this has been a year also. The other coonery this year is this gender bending bullshit. And again, Brittany Grinder, my theme song this year, my heart was broken when Putin turned on us because I was singing Cheaper to Keep Her. That's so sad that they let her come back. That was such a loss for black men. But I want to say that a person that wasn't a coon that we lost this year is that we lost Kevin Samuels, the once in a lifetime messianic relationship leader and guru. A mind that we're not going to encounter for another 200 years. God save the black family, and we have to hold up the bloodstained banner of Kevin Samuels. I appreciate everything he did. I do say Mr. Sperling has been coming up. There have been people doing the right thing. I'm seeing a lot of Wazis like Sister Eve, Wazis like Sister Nikki, Wazis like Sister Isla. I have seen a groundswell of black women tired of the bullshit. I love them. I'm telling you, I don't even need my horny goat supplements. I get hard on for sisters that stand up like Harriet Tubman style with a nice face, because Harriet Tubman could be like a haunted house mansion door knocker. It's so nice to see that there's some sisters coming around. In fact, I got to give a shout out to the biggest part-time coon in history is Clarence Thomas, but this year, half of the time, he gets my Nat Turner Award around baby killing, saying no to sissies, fighting for religious liberties and that we don't have to take the genocide jab. Way to go, Clarence. There's nobody in the land with the exception of the Honorable Louis Farrakhan who has a megaphone to say, fuck y'all, we're not doing it. And I want to give a shout out. And I'm not in the Nation of Islam. And yes, I'm in the family with my dear cousin, somehow, Elijah Muhammad. And if he's divine, I am too. At least when I'm talking about people, I feel divine. The Nation of Islam, they've got that right. We got to give a shout out to them. They've been true. In particular, Brother Risa Islam
Yes.
been a major. I love you, Risa. And if you have to drop those fools like a bean pie, you can always come back to church. Shoot, I could shout listening to your ass preach. It may get my ass to go back to, I'm a Sabbatarian, I worship on Saturday, but I could go to Sunday to listen to a Negro like you preach stand-up. God bless you and your wife. I want to also give a shout out to Tariq Nasheed, who hasn't been a coon, who's been a brother, a fighter. God bless him. God bless you, Dwan, and all the social media people, all the folks that did stuff this year. There were a lot of people that stood up. I know Secure the Tribe, they made different people mad, but there were folk out there fighting. The people that did the pull-ups, people did some grassroots fighting was going on this year, and it's truly beautiful. And again, I want to mention people like Lioness Crown and Teslin. They've been these black women, I got to say it, I'm going to shout when the black woman is in the Spirit of Cali house. That shit makes me crazy enough to be a suicide bomber, for the truth. When you see sisters, they basically give you testosterone. They ululate with power. So we've been seeing sisters stand up, embarrassing people, doing what they're supposed to do. And in particular, I'm seeing them begin to dialogue. So that's something, it's a cultural thing. It's not going to get the same attention. I also want to say, we've just seen this has been a year where there's a timestamp on these fucked up rappers who are degenerate embarrassments. They can't sing, can't dance, can't dress, and probably can't pleasure a woman, if truth be told. And they asked us to dying like roaches in the roach motel. And maybe we'll have real black music soon. I can't wait. I just, oof, man. I can't wait for real black music to get a chance and silly ass ASAP Rocky and all that. And oh yes, I have to say Kanye. I don't know if he wants to be the black exorcist, but every now and then he was saying some stuff that's true. By the way, if you saw that whole show that he did with Alex Jones, did y'all know Alex Jones denounced Jews for denying black people their heritage as Hebrews? Did y'all know that? They've been attacking Kanye, but ignoring the context that Alex Jones, a white man, was up there saying that it's true that blacks are the Hebrews, they're the original people. That's on people call InfoWars racist. But yet, a coon like Rollover Martin, that grunge embarrassment, that type 2 diabetes, Greek letter boule sellout, bootlick, lick spittle coon. He's always just, and it's really nice. Don Lemon, he better be careful now that he has his nights free. He's going to get in some trouble. But he's on the day. Nobody's paying attention. We weren't paying attention at night either. So it's nice to see that happen. With Dorsey out of Twitter, that means DeRay McKesson and his tongue are not going to have the influence they used to have for all these years. That's good. Notice how Maxine Waters has been quiet, and I don't know, well, maybe, she's making more folds than this San Andreas fault in her face. We
I had a
haven't.
friend, I had a friend that saw Maxine Waters about a few weeks ago,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
they started trying to ask her questions or whatever, and she bounced up on out of there before she got a chance to pull her cell phone out.
yeah, well, because I'm wondering now. You heard about the congressman from Virginia who dropped dead at 61. All of a sudden, he had cancer. A
I didn't.
Democrat. Oh, yep. So a friend of mine, Bishop Leon Benjamin, is running for that seat down in Virginia. It's going to be interesting. Something that was quite interesting as well was the stupidity this year of the dumbass racist Republicans who could have had a red wave instead of a red farting contest. They didn't reach out, didn't give any money, didn't support any black candidates like they should have. So that's another reason the asses fell short. I don't feel sad for that. One of the biggest coons in the country, I have to say, is that Negro from Mississippi, Benny Thompson, the one that keeps messing with Donald Trump. Now, how much mouth are you going to give the most popular white man in the country and you live in Mississippi? I mean, unless your house is bomb proof and you've got enough bulletproof glass and shit to be the mafia, you need to watch how you step to somebody that's popular with folks who like AR 15s like it's jack off juice. That's just stupid. Okay. So, what's his name? Benny Thompson. He and Maxine Waters and Nancy Pelosi, I mean, they're my candidates for coon jerkmates of the century. And just they need to jerk themselves out of public office.
Because you said a whole lot. Let's rewind something. Let's rewind some things. I want to make sure. I want to key in on some things that you said earlier. We were talking about because you started off talking about people like Kevin Samuels, and I know you were a big you really liked him. Me personally, I didn't. I like some of the things that he said, especially when it came to talking. I think he did a great job of analyzing the ills and the wrongs of what was going on in the dynamic. As far as his solutions go, as a married man, I was okay. Most of that won't work, but analyzing the issues, I think in a lot of ways he was 1,000% on. And one thing else we saw as the year went on, like 2022 for me has been a year where when bullshit happens, the truth comes right after that. I don't know if you noticed that. It'd be some bullshit, and then 2 or 3 weeks later, something to happen, or 2 or 3 months later, that everyone that was on the bullshit, something real to happen, or something on the opposite side of the bullshit that happened, and it exposed. So what happened? How that worked out in relationships this year was Kevin Samuels died, and we had all these women who were talking about what I did not agree with was all these women that were saying he deserved it because the way he talked to women. Like, no, he accurately assessed the issue and he said some things you guys didn't like, and I get it, but he didn't deserve to die. But they were just really talking really bad about him, and then later on at the end of the year, the other dude ends up getting a divorce, the Derek Jackson guy. And I didn't really pay attention to neither of them that much. Me personally, I use them both to crack jokes on. But I will say Kevin Samuels was 1,000% more accurate than some damn Derek Jackson. And now we see Derek Jackson getting a divorce. And the same people that was saying Kevin Samuels this, Kevin Samuels that, you need to listen to Derek Jackson, his ass getting a divorce. And now they all like, well, and so we starting to see the hypocrisy in the people who had issues with, because most of the people who had issues with Kevin Samuels, it wasn't at his assessments. They used ad hominem attacks, and they use these other attacks that I'm like, okay, it's a lot you can attack this man on, but for you to use these ad hominems and for you to say he's wrong because of this, because he ain't married. Now the guy you gravitated to, Derek Jackson, is divorced. It was interesting seeing that dynamic sort of play out as the year went along. Personally, like I said, I'm more so of an observer. I didn't jump on either team, but looking at it as just watching it, it was very interesting to see how this year played out with that. I want your thoughts on that.
Well, my thought is, it's not, first and foremost, you have to understand some is satire, some is truth. What I like about Kevin Samuels is that he is the best revenge against pork chop feminism I've ever seen.
I agree that.
And therefore, the same way when sisters see another woman gouging a dude for child support and they don't say anything because they may have been messed over by a man. Well, having been traumatized by pork chop feminism, I sort of am reluctant to criticize Kevin Samuels because I don't see enough people fighting against pork chop feminism. When I see that, I will say more. What I do like about Kevin Samuels is that the answer is not running after white females or, for that matter, getting a passport. But what we must have is a moral, ethical, social revolution in our community and how we deal and treat one another. The answer isn't running away, although you can meet people in other places. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody knows that I want to go on a bush bitch safari just to look at some African babes because I like them really black near the equator. But that doesn't mean that you don't have people like Sister Island, Sister Nikki here. There's still quality people here. Just a lot of people need to take more time. Where Kevin and some of the other people need to start.
Can I stop you real quick? I just wanted to quick thank you, Dwan B and Dr. Short. You both are so complimentary and respectful of FBA and Black women in general. I love y'all. I appreciate all the love and respect that y'all have always given me. I just want to say thank you to both of y'all.
Well, look, you guys I see you on a room and I want to be there, even if I just sit and listen. If I see one or two of you there, it's going to be okay. I don't go to rooms often. If I see y'all, I'll go. If I don't see y'all, I don't even bother. I don't care who's there. We've got to be in unison. I had some conversations with Sister Isla. They've been busy. She's a businesswoman. I have some ideas. Hint, hint. Call me at some point. Anyway, but it's business, y'all. Just being able to talk to sisters about serious stuff, business, jobs, opportunities, hope, it is greater than 1 trillion orgasms to talk to on-code sisters. There's just no price tag. There's no kind of pleasure I can describe that to you. So it's humbling. Oh my God, they're happening. I mean, shoot, you're going to make me cry up in here because I'm sentimental. I have had the opportunity to work with C. Dolores Tucker, Cynthia McKinney, to meet Rosa Parks, Daisy Bates, to work with the late Kalia Clark, the black woman who was the uh, behind Medgar Evers and behind the Selma protests as well as the Birmingham protests, to work with and support. I have actually had the opportunity to work with legendary black women, and it's inspiring to see that there's some younger ones. You got people like Eve. Oh my God, that lady's like a switchblade with a lightsaber on it. It's great. You need to be celebrated. We have to, as we talk about the toxic people. And by the way, we deal with the no good brothers too. We talk about the brother fuckers. Man, I don't like none of them. We have to take time to celebrate the things that are great. And there's nothing greater than when you get one of these sharp people like that black woman doctor. I don't remember her name, but she's out of Michigan. The one black physician that I saw denouncing this genocide jab. That's just totally on point. Other than my dear friend from Cameroon's Dr. Stella Emmanuel, who I work with. If you find a righteous black woman, back her. Real men back real women. A black man that can't appreciate a black woman is a fag that thinks that they like women. And I'm not even talking about sexuality. I mean, basically, you can be in women all day for their orifice, but you don't care about their soul, their mind, their destiny. You're not much of a damn man. So, you sisters, like, you guys are like butane and throwing a kerosene on top of a fire. You're combustible. And you need to understand that you can inspire, and you do inspire. And again, it's Sister Sean, who may not be on this call. There, y'all have no idea. Throughout this very difficult period, we're seeing a renaissance in black women and black men.
That's the point I want to bring up again also, because and it ties into what's going on between the whole Kevin Samuels, Derrick Jackson thing. With them two, you had two opposite sides of the same topic, but differing opinions on it. But even though both were extreme in some kind of ways, what it's done is in some ways it has, and I got to thank Kevin Samuels for this. It's one thing I really do thank him for, is he sparked conversations. So he say things that'll really get under people's skin. But then I remember how it was last year, the last couple of years. I would be at a family function or I would be out somewhere, and it will become did you hear what Kevin Samuel said? And then someone like me who has a level head, who is married, I can say, I heard what he said, but this is how that plays out. So what that did was it started a discussion. It started black men and black women to at least getting to talking again. Because for a long time we've been talking at each other and not to each other. So
Mm-hmm.
one thing that's happened this year, black men and women have gotten back to talking to one another, even though the means that got us there oftentimes were people we were totally vehemently against.
And
Versus
that's called a dialectic, one, and
hold on,
that's sort of.
hold on. Let me get it out. Um, hold on, man. Let me get it out. And so what it did was it sparked conversations. And even when you go to my episode of Fox Soul with Dr. Umar Johnson on it, when you saw what was going on with everything with when they brought those trannies out and Cynthia G to speak for black women, you saw a lot of black women speaking up. And what you're starting to see, because of a lot of these things that again we may not have necessarily agreed with, but what we started to see in response in more in 2022 than has ever been since I've been alive. I've always wanted and said black women have to speak up and speak out against these black women that are doing wrong by us. Men can't say it because when Sherazade Ali said it back in the 80s, people weren't listening. A lot of what people were mad at Kevin Samuels was saying was some certain things that Sherazade Ali was saying. But you know, Now I think we're at a time where people can actually listen to it, but we need women to say it. So what's been happening this year, and why I want to really give a shout out to the women, is the women have since gone from being pissed off at someone like a Kevin Samuels or whatever, and they've been more vocal about starting the conversation. And then when those other women who have been nothing but detrimental to Black society as a whole, we've seen this year the Black women step up and shut those women down. And looking forward to 2023, I look forward to Black women doing more of that, because as Black men, it's a whole lot of sorry, janky, weird, weak ass niggas we got to deal with. We don't have the time to deal with women like that. We need women to deal with women, because these niggas out here today are sorry. I mean, today we are at the lowest level of manhood I think that has ever been. Just look at Twitter spaces. You got grown ass men arguing and gossiping with each other. I don't like when it comes to Twitter spaces. I'm like you. I don't go in many Twitter spaces. It's either gonna be my Twitter space. If I see a Twitter space that Nikki's modding in, or Linus, she'll invite me to some stuff. Nicely, I like, sincere. Whenever they do something, I'm with that. Black Alpha, Beatzilla. Certain people, I'll go in their chat rooms individually, but outside of that, I don't really do Twitter spaces because it's a big shitting contest.
It's horrible.
It's horrible.
I'm thinking that it's possessed at this point. Everybody is beefing and doxing each other. It's not safe to be in Twitter spaces unless it's somebody that you know who has a history. I've been staying out of Twitter spaces because I don't want my name popping up in nothing.
Exactly, Nikki, because it's like, what's been going on, what goes on with these Twitter spaces. The Twitter spaces at the beginning of 2022 started out as a constructive thing. We saw a lot of us using Twitter spaces to push an agenda, to share a common thought, and to share ideologies and get things around. But these last 6 months, it's gone from something that got some grassroots movements popping in the real world to just bitch contests. And so, like, I was in, and I now I love listening to our brother Tariq Nasheed speak, but I generally just wait until he's on YouTube, because the last couple Twitter spaces he did is, I'm not gonna mention no names. Y'all know who these people are. I don't follow none of these niggas. But at the end of the day, you hear, oh, such and such said such and such, Tariq, and you need to check such and such is fake, and I'm this, and I'm like, I'm watching this shit like, you got men going in here. Our brother Tariq got a museum opening up, got movies coming out. This brother is putting in some real work. But what do you have in Twitter spaces? A whole bunch of niggas pointing at other niggas, sounding like bitches. And I'm saying it. If you one of them dudes that been up in Tariq's space, or if you in these Twitter spaces, and all you doing is pointing and saying what this man is doing, what that man is doing, from the bottom of DwannBrown's heart, fuck you, because you are what's wrong with Black America right now.
Amen.
We have a whole lot of shit we got to deal with. And for you to go to some man that got all that shit going on, that's really about to, whether you agree with Tariq or not, the museum is a good thing. The movies is a good thing. You don't have to like him. If you don't like him, cool. You got your reasons, fine. I'm not going to argue with you. But when you use that time to go around and talk about, well, in Twitter space, such and such says such, leave that shit in 2022. If you were an offender, we forgive you. Just don't take that shit in the next year. We ain't got time for it. We got shit to handle. And I'm tired of the men acting like bitches. And so the real men don't act like bitches. We got to handle that. So we don't have time to deal with the pork chop feminists. We need our women to deal with them. Because matter of fact, if
That's
we
right.
do say something, we gonna sound misogynistic anyway. Go ahead, Dr. Short. I went on
Yeah,
a tangent.
and we need to get those guys some CBD suppositories to put up their ass so they can chill out. And I want 2023 to be the year that we go to war with these weak ass simps. I would like to retire. I would like to take off my anti-pork chop feminist shoes and go back to what I had started off doing, which is fighting against simps. Remember the show we did, Brother Dwan? And I started talking about bastard brothers, bastard bitches, and the dude that came out who was a bastard started tripping. Um, we need to deal with this bastard bitch energy because it's out of control. And it's just ridiculous. Guys, I heard about a man that shot a woman to death because he came on to her. She didn't want him. He murdered her. I mean, what? I mean, that's. You know, I don't know. I don't know who. Maybe we can set up a GoFundMe for Preparation H for the souls of these weak ass persons. But it sickens me to my guts, and them getting jacked up in prison doesn't really succor the pain that I feel about these kinds of people. So yes, I'm so glad that there are women standing up, because the more they do it, the less we have to, and the more we can focus in on our lane, which is getting brothers straight, because people need to cuss some of these people out. And I've been, I may not do it in a room, but get someone one-on-one and light into their ass that I don't care for it. And don't confuse it. Just because I don't like aberrant feminists doesn't mean that I support open season on missing over the sisters. That's, you don't understand me. And at the same point, so yes, I agree with you, Dwan. This is a year where we're beginning to become introspective, and as we get more Wazies on the case, as they begin to step up and get inspired, y'all going to see us come down on some simps. 2023 is going to be a year of a terror dome, and we're going to have like an inquisition against simps, weak ass, sorry ass, lion ass, estrogen toxified coon ass simps are going to catch hell, or as I call them, fagonists. The fagonists are going to be crying. In fact, they're going to wish that they were real men, because we're tired of it. I can't take this anymore.
We're tired of this shit. We got a speaker in there. And for y'all, we're gonna bring some speakers to the floor. If you guys want to speak, raise your hand, hit a request. Because if you want to ask me or Dr. Short any questions or make a comment on how the years move forward, just make sure when you speak, you keep your comments brief. Just I said it before the room. Well, when it was first open, there was only like 4 people in here. So I want to say this again before we get to the speakers. Um, Keep your comments brief. Yes, Dr. Short and I are long-winded. That means there's not enough time for you to be long-winded. We the only
And
long-winded.
we treat the room. We treat the room, y'all. We should have a nice crowd.
Yes. Yeah.
We're gonna have lots of fun. Retreat.
Oh shit. Hold on. Hello. Hold on.
I got it. You're fine. Lioness is on her way up. Who does anybody else want to come up? I'll invite a couple.
Peace, family.
Peace, sister.
Peace, Sister Nikki, Brother Dwan, Dr. Short. Dr. Short, I had your account blocked. I did not know that was you, but I unblocked it and I followed you. So shout out to you. Because I was trying to reach out to you via DM and I realized that your other account was blocked. So now I know how to find you. I just wanted to shout out the family, everybody that's in this space. It's the end of the year. I'm going to have to catch the replay of this space, but I do want to say that I love and appreciate everybody. All the work that we've put in. I've definitely learned a lot this year by being on Twitter. So a lot of you all have been instrumental in my growth just by your posts, the exchange of ideas and things like that. And I want to continue to build constructively as we step into 2023. And it was nice to meet a lot of y'all in person. That's also, major milestones. So shout out to everyone who came out to the rally and supported. Even if you just tweeted or said a kind word or just in your own way are invested in the general reparations movement, we really appreciate that. I appreciate it. And so, yeah, that's basically what I wanted to say. My biggest takeaway is from 2022 is that the most revolutionary thing that I can do is to engage in self-care and to work on my relationship with God, primarily first and foremost, and everything after that is secondary. It's necessary, but it's secondary. And so as we step into 2023, y'all are going to see me and hear from me a lot less. on Twitter and on social media. And I'll be launching some other projects. So just wanted to shout y'all out. I'm going to drop back down and say peace to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was dope meeting you, Jade, in DC, man. That was hella dope. Um, it was dope. I met Tariq for the first time. I met Dr. Randy Short for the first time. That shit was fun. We beat Dr. Short. I got to meet Nice Girl down there, Afro Elite. It was dope meeting all y'all. And then Isla, I got to meet Isla. Y'all were all hella dope, and I think that was the rally was probably one of my highlights of the year. This has been a great year for me, but I will say the rally and just more so just being in the environment. Speaking is one thing. It was a surprise to speak. Thank God Jay for hitting me up the day before, like, "Hey, you're speaking tomorrow." I was like, "Oh shit." I didn't know.
Yeah, I had a conversation with our sister Tashina Arnold, and then I was like, "Yep, we bringing up Dwan B, and hey Dwan, you're gonna be speaking in the lineup, so get ready."
Yeah,
Hey, Dwan.
I was out there in DC. That's why I didn't have no speaker clothes. I was like, my plans was to go to the rally, stand somewhere in the back. That way, if I had to dip off and smoke a blunt, I could walk away real quick, smoke that blunt, come right back. That was my plans. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna sit in the back and just soak up the energy of everybody. And then when you called me to speak, I was like, oh shit, I ain't got nothing to wear. I don't know. But I was just texting to Sheena the day before. I mean, that day, she was like, "D, She's like, you speaking?" I was like, "No, I'm not speaking." And then she didn't text me back. And then all of a sudden, I got a call from Jade. I was like, "Oh." Then I texted Sheena back. I was like, "You motherfucker!" But that's my nigga, right? I love her.
Hey, Dwan.
There.
We
But
got
go
to
ahead,
bring up. I enjoyed the rally too, but I have to say, Sister Jade, the funniest event that day was the gay simp that had the fight with the pork chop at the after party. That was just, I
Oh,
mean, I wish I had caught that. That was
yeah.
that was so great. That
This
was
is my
so
first
cool.
time
I wish
hearing
I had.
about it. This is my first time
Oh,
hearing about it. I went to the after party. I saw folks, and then I left. I'm like, yeah, y'all not gonna catch me at the end of the club at closing time. But no, I just wanted to come and say what's up. But I left. I was really, really exhausted, and I just wanted to just be there for a little bit. So I missed that. And so whatever you saw, Dr. Short, I missed it.
it was before you got there. Dewan saw it. I
no, I
didn't copy it fast enough.
I,
It was hilarious. It was
I,
hilarious.
I wish I
It was
saw.
hilarious.
I had but we have another speaker that was down here that's been up here for a while. True. Are you there, True?
Yeah, I'm here. To be actually honest with you, I didn't even know I was a speaker. I was over here cursing out my neighbor, and then I came back to the phone. I'm like, I'm a speaker, but something, forget all that. I would like to say Happy New Year to everybody. How you doing, Mr. Short? How you doing, Dewan, Nikki? Everybody. Happy New Year. And Mr. Dewan, you hit it on point. I don't want to be in a whole bunch of crazy nonsense. And if y'all see Marcel, tell him I said I miss him. I'm ready for him to get back up on here too. That's all I got to say. Everybody, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, this isn't. We gotta, being constructive has to be a number one priority next year, and just like it should be every year. So when we get into these Twitter spaces and you hear people throwing shots at this person and that person, and the whole room is just chattering and arguing, just leave it. Just don't give it any energy. Let it go. That's how we fight it. You don't have to fight against everything. Some shit you just don't even have to acknowledge that. Oh, y'all talking about some bullshit? All right, I got something over here to do. Matter of fact, I got better things to do, like wash my hands or whatever. Because you got people coming on Twitter Spaces that didn't brush their teeth in the morning. You got people on Twitter Spaces who don't even wash their legs when they take a shower. But when they want to come up all on here and get to running their mouth and talking shit about what somebody else is doing, you got people that are non-constructive, ain't doing shit in life, ain't never done shit, but never will do shit. And the best thing they have going for them is to have 30 people. These Twitter Spaces, see, one thing with Twitter Spaces, this is the first time a lot of people have more than two people listen to them at one time. And you got to see it. You got to see somebody create a room that cracked off, and then somebody comes up to speak. But that person coming up to speak has never had anyone pay attention to them. Their own children don't listen to them because the 7-year-olds know they full of shit. So they finally get an audience of these people, and they go and they talk. And when we were around March, February, April, it was just a lot of talking back and forth where we would hear some confusing kind of shit, but it wasn't as many arguments. But as we got into the summertime, we saw what that devolved to. So one thing we got to focus on in 2023 is allowing the right people to speak. Not everybody. Everybody don't get a mic. You know, we have a lot of people right now in these Twitter spaces that had a classroom size of 4 other children, and they had a special bus that they drove on, and they went to lunchtime 20 minutes before the rest of us. These people are an open Twitter world today. And sometimes I'll be forgetting that shit. But I gotta be the first one to remember that, but we all gotta remember that. So when we're in Twitter spaces, let's make them constructive. Let's say our point of view. If somebody says something that you don't agree with, you can disagree with that person without attacking that person. And as a matter of fact, you don't even have to say, I disagree with you. All you gotta do is give your point of view. You ain't gotta tell everybody else, you should listen to that person. You shouldn't listen to that person. Just say what the fuck you gotta say and go back to living your life and let the people that's listening decide. I think if we keep it that way and we stop giving attention to these non-constructive spaces, are being, because we see some of these other groups out there who aren't constructive. We see the numbers from their Twitter spaces. It ain't what they were 9 months ago. So that lets us know that on some level, people already are retreating out of it. So I think we need to keep that up. What you guys say about that, Dr. Short?
Dr. Short, are you there? Unmute yourself.
He must be.
No, I'm here. I mute myself so I don't make noise.
Oh.
I agree with you. The only thing that wants to be with shit is flies. And since we're better than flies, let that shit be to itself. Let the maggots enjoy it. We don't have time for it.
Dr. Short. Now, let's talk about who we're gonna do. Two things. We're gonna have two. And I want some of you guys to speak if you guys in the audience want to say something about it. But I want to say, okay, who are we gonna put as the coons of the year? Who are the top 3? I know it's a whole lot, but who are the coons of 2022, and who do you expect in 2023 to break on the coon side of the game? But let's start off with the 2022 coons of the year.
Can I do backwards? Hakeem Jeffries is going to be one of the coons of 2023.
That's a good shit.
Okay. Yes, Hakeem Jeffries. He's going to be a coon. Your girl, Sammy Sosa, Forrest Whitaker, Karen Bass. Those are 2. The other person that's going to be
Karen Bass looks like those trolls on Muppets. Remember the 2 old men on the Muppets? That's Karen Bass.
Well, she's not as pretty as they are. Then the other person that I have to tell you that's going to show their ass this year, I really do believe it is going to be Warnock, because now we've got him for 6 years. And then I'm going to add Cory Booker is going to show his ass this year. And so we're going to see a lot of confusion from people jockeying as this generational shift comes. So 2023, people who are striving to climb up are going to act out. And I'm just trying to think of, I think those are the people that I'm watching. Now, the coons of this year, there are so many until it's very difficult to narrow them down. I mean, I would just like to do classes of coons if I could.
I'm glad you said let's do the classes. Okay, give me a level 3, which is your lower level coon, your mid level coon, and your high level coons. Who would you put? Let's start at the bottom, level 3. Who's your
level? Entertainers and sports people, coons. I mean, all types. I mean, you could put them all in. All Gazy, Beyonce. I mean, what's that bastard from Alabama? The one that looks like a Pekingese dog that used to play basketball. Barkley, him. all of the no good ass kissing,
Lifetime.
all of those coons that stabbed Kyrie Irving, all of them, all the musicians, all the fucked up people that we patronize, they're in class 3. Celebrities are not leaders. I wouldn't even say that they're useful anymore. They're the closest thing to a baby wipe after it's been used that we have in our race. I mean, it's all of them as a class. I don't like any of them. And that includes D.L. Hewley and others. Just if it's out there, if they're on primetime television, almost all of them are trash. Period. And that includes even people like that psychotic Buddha-looking what's his thing's name? Oh God, Will Smith's wife.
Oh, Pinky.
Oh yeah. Yeah, she looks like a bald Cupid doll these days. All of them are useless. They're pandering and stupidity or confusion. You name it. So that's one group. Now the next group of people that are useless. That gets a little more difficult, but I'll try to go this way. I would do appointees. Okay. And the appointee that I hate the most is that Negro that looks like Esther Roll, who's Secretary of the Army, the way he's fucked up all these black servicemen and women with these goddamn shots.
I forgot his name.
Austin. I just call him Florida because he looks like Esther Roll.
Florida.
Yes, he looks like Florida. He's an appointee that's scum. There's some other appointees that are scum. These are people that are put in positions that are doing stuff that's very bad to our people. They may not have run for office, but they're there. They're scum. One of them died this year, praise the Lord, Calvin Butts, that sorry-ass nigga preacher in New York, who is the architect of getting churches to push the genocide jab. So at least he paid with his life. So, God is good and he's in the blessing business. Say amen. So Calvin Butts' ass is gone. But there are other no good Negro preachers and religionists that are scum or their appointees. I'm trying to think of who's. Oh, yes, that broad they put in the Supreme Court, although she has done some votes I agree with, but she's there to kill babies. So she's going to be a coon, too, and 23. You can just add her in there as well. And someone that was trying to get office that didn't was Gacy Abrams. The only thing she seems to be able to do is add adipose tissue, which she's quite good at.
You ain't shit for saying that. Shit.
Someone that's no good. That's now the top category are and also the people within this category too that are either appointed or social people. I would just put all the boule people who are in places that promote confusion and degeneracy. And I'm trying to think of who. There's just so many until it's overwhelmed. God, Dwan, make it easier for me to like name, just say the whole damn boule, put them all up under category 2, and then 3 elected officials. And one of them is that hippo-looking Sheila Jackson Lee. She needs to go. It was quite, huh?
You talking about Sheila Jackson? I thought you were talking about Patrick Ewing. They kind of look alike.
Well, no, Patrick Ewing looks like Michelle Obama. She could be in category 2. By the way, yes, Obama's ass. He's a category 2. Who made him king of black people? The only thing he's king of is promoting. I mean, he's Abraham Lincoln to sodomy. I mean, he's set us free for everything but righteousness. So the Obamas are very, very awful influence. They need to be cast off. And in fact, we should also throw Oprah Winfrey and a range of other people who see themselves as they're still bad and very negative. Oh, by the way, an asshole for 2023 is this new governor in Maryland. I call him Whoremore, Westmore, but I call him Whoremore. Watch him. He's going to sell black people out to illegals.
I would say I got to put somebody else in that level too. Well, no, I think on my level 1, I got to go with media people because it's some people that found out that got that nigga wake up call like Tiffany Cross. What do you think about people heard?
Well,
But
I like that, but I also like seeing TJ. You think you could fuck another white man's wife on national television and not bust you? I mean, I hope it's good. I'm wondering if her pubic hair looks like clan mask and stuff down in, but he can tell us about that. I mean, he would know. I mean, I'd be afraid to put my thing down there, probably have a cross come up off of it. Oh, right. So anyway, TJ's ass is gone. A Don woman is off. Other people have been cut off. They let that dude from the Daily Show. I'm glad he's gone. Go back to South Africa with your white woman. A lot of these influencers are gone. So now we have to see what's going to happen. Jesse Jackass's son ran for Congress. That's no good. Lori Dykefoot in Chicago has to run for re-election. She's going to be an ass in 2023. And she's in the category of one of the most horrific, awful people of all times. The no-good nigger mayor of Buffalo that let all those people, black people, freeze like fudge sickles. He's scum. That asshole mayor of New York, the one that looks like Have a Nice Day, the Have a Nice Day symbol, discovered crack and a bad tanning lamp. Adams, he's filth. He's no goddamn good. Someone that got a wake-up call this year was kind of nice was the former mayor of Tampa. The one that got caught screwing the white porn star.
yeah.
Gillum, he's been brought down a peg, or actually, he was brought up a peg and then taken down after they caught him with the peg. Let me see who else. Now, someone that I hope is a champion in 23 is our Judge Joe Brown. That's the one bright, shining light of someone running for office. Is Judge Joe Brown. I hope he wins Memphis. That would change the trajectory of black people in the Middle South if he can get that city. The mayor of D.C., yawn. Bow Wow. Oh, God, help us, Jesus.
Bowser. Bowser looks like a terrible principal. Like she looks like a bad principal. When you see her walking around, she look. I mean, I swear to God, like
she looks like Arsenio Hall transition.
My DC people, my heart goes out to y'all for the next 4 years.
DC is well, she's gonna be there, and I'm trying to think of who.
Why are you thinking? We have a speaker. I want a speaker.
Bring it on.
You got a question? Make a comment. This guy, go ahead.
I'm sorry. What's up?
Go ahead. Yeah, did you have something that you want to go ahead and a question or a comment?
Oh yeah. To be honest with you, I was just thanks, Dwan, man. I met you over at the FBA rally, man. So it's really good to hear from you. Yeah, man. I was just gonna say, yo, man. Doctor had me dying Randy Short with that Gacy Abrams. That was pretty much it. Had me rolling, and I'm out here in DC, man. Yeah, Bow Wow. Whoo, she's horrible. Yeah, she's horrible to say the least.
I'm just thinking, we have all these gayors. That no good mayor in San Francisco, I think she's up for re-election. Her name is London.
Doctor, I can't with you.
She should be called Calcutta, man. She's just awful. And yeah. Well, she needs.
So that's really her name. See, when I first heard her name,
but she doesn't breed with men. Okay.
When I first heard her name, I thought we was talking about Lassie. I thought it was like, is this a new breed of collie dogs or?
Lassie's more lovable and more useful, and Lassie didn't hate black people. I'm just thinking, just wherever you look, there's disasters. I really would. I mean, just the entire Congressional Black Caucus and the head of the NAACP, he's not shit. I'm just trying to think. The whole thing is a disaster. I told people I have fantasy dreams that I become dictator of Black America, and I arrest all the no good preachers and make all the rappers have to work at hamburger joints and shit so they have some real work under their belt. And just like, if you can't read and write, you can't play basketball. You have to have a high IQ to be able to smoke weed. Man, I would just clean this shit up. I mean, people would have to pay child support. All the children would be DNA tested so we knew who the fathers were. Man, that would just fix this shit. And the first thing I would do was almost jail every black elected official if they haven't stood up for us, round their asses up. Take their family too.
You
Take some in-person shit and give them out to homeless people.
made a good
Punish
point,
city
Dr.
for
Short.
betraying us like this.
You just made a good point that I got to go back to. What's up, B Zilla down there? If you want to speak, brother, put your hand up. Afro Lee, if y'all want to speak, put your hand up. We got you. But you just made a really good point because I am an avid weed smoker. I am actually on my probably ninth blunt of the day. Yeah, I guess down.
Stop counting.
But this is what I gotta say. Only if you know how to be constructive, and only if you got some damn brain cells. I hate smoking weed with stupid people. Oh my God, it's people who use weed. Like, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because weed is becoming legal in different states and cities around the country. And being here in California, one of the places that spearheaded that whole thing, let me tell you guys, as an avid weed smoker, it ain't worth it. You do not you do not allow weed to dictate your politics. I'm someone who, back in 2012, when they were going for legalization, I was the main one out here. Like, no, don't do it. They're about to fuck the whole game up. I like my shit in the Ziploc bag. And so now we dealing with this old government weed that's way overpriced, way overtaxed, and you have people who sacrifice good politicians over some goddamn weed. Legal weed is not worth a larger political agenda. Let me say it again. Legal weed is not worth the larger political agenda. It's not. I am an avid weed smoker and I love it, but don't let that shit get in the way of your goddamn politics. And if you stupid, don't smoke weed. You know you stupid. You got people over here, you split verbs. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the difference between you, your, and your. You don't know they, there, and there. And you niggas know. Get your shit together, and once it's together, revisit the weed then. Do not allow weed to be a part of your political agenda. It ain't worth it. And if you stupid, don't smoke it. Go ahead, Dr. Short.
You know, one of the other groups of people that's really, I've got to just say this, all the people that are fighting for abortion, all the people that are putting sexuality ahead of race, all the people that are single issue niggas, as I describe them, whether they're only anti abortion but they don't care in reparations, all of them are in category one as well. And they're various types of people. And, you know, they're always going to be a problem. The only thing that's going to change this is for us to have a movement among the few that displace them. They have to go. That was what my auntie, Medgar Evers' assistant, in her last real conversation with me before she had a stroke, she cursed me out and says, God damn you, Short, your generation needs to kick the boomers out. So in reality, we have to talk about that. We have this boomer polar vortex that's got everything on a self-hating, genocidal deep freeze. And we need the damn sun to shine and come in and bring the temperature up where shit can grow again. And so that's another thing. Now, the one thing that's kind of it's awful, but hell, that's what's happened. This genocide jab is weeding out dumbass niggas. Like, I mean, there could be a lot of coons, a lot of boule coons and other people that, you know, felt that, you know, getting a shot was like having lifesavers or beer. Well, people are dying suddenly all over the place. Like that nigga, the fat one that looks like Jack in the Box, Al Roker. And look at how it fucked him up getting shot. Yeah, he does look like Jack in the Box. Okay. Yes, he does. And
Thing, like, and I gotta say this. As like, let me tell all you. This is just a warning message to all you in shape people out there. All of us fat people don't get along. I don't like fat people either. You dig what I'm saying? Especially fat people that you can hear breathe. My thing is this: it's okay to be fat, but if I hear you going, nigga, you need to lose some neck weight. Niggas be sounding like they got Twinkies lodged in their throat. That ain't cool. And
But you know,
so,
the worst thing is when they have sex and you're like sweating Crisco on the woman under you that's trying to carry that weight. She's not a draft animal, she's a person. You shouldn't be over 230 pounds. You should keep that damn weight down. You're a crushed woman
look,
and shit.
look,
That
okay,
bitch people take collagen and shit just to fuck you.
What
Lose your
about when both of y'all got to lift up your stomachs?
see,
I'm
like,
telling you, and you know what? Viagra doesn't increase sperm count, and it's not necessarily good for your health. So lose the goddamn weight.
and like look, you gotta take what you can handle, because you know what I mean. 'Cause like for me, I could always handle the weight. I ain't been below 300 pounds since I was in 11th grade, but
But you don't
I,
find female
but I
superior.
can
There's
still,
certain people that
I
want to
can
do
still,
the
yeah, you're
unfelt
right.
shit.
I can still dunk a basketball at 320. I can dunk. You know, you can. Everybody can't handle it. This how you
Well,
know you can't. This how you know you can't handle the weight.
but
When
they
you,
can.
hold on, Dr. Short, hold on. This how you know, because you ain't fat, I am. So you can't speak on this, brother. Only I can. I'm the fat expert, brother. This how you know you got too much weight, fat boy. When your shoes get to that 45-degree angle on the side. You ever see these fat fucks when they walk, they shoes get to that little angle on the side? You be like, dude, why do you need taps on the side of your Jordans? Your shoes should not be wearing out, and these niggas be waddling when they walk side to side, knocking you all onto the goddamn street. Because if you can walk that much and waddle to the side, shouldn't you be burning more calories? See, if you that level of fat, you you gotta lose weight. And Al Roker, going back, Roland Martin, I saw this dude. This Roland Martin he looks like Rosie from the Jetsons. With the box head, the box belly. Like, brother, you need Roland Martin, fuck 320, Dr. Short. Roland Martin should be a 140. Some people can't handle 320. That's why I'm saying I gotta speak as a fat person. Roland Martin looks like a stack of chocolate ice cream. We need people like that. I don't like them kind of fat people because they make us fat people look bad. You got the fat coon like Dr. Short mentioned, Al Roker, and then you get these goddamn Roland Martins coming in looking like an oversized owl.
No, he looks like a jack o' lantern with the candle pulled out.
I was gonna say,
I'm
look like a pumpkin.
up with this thing.
So death, not I won't say death. Now I don't want to put that out there. But let's put an end to these jolly fat coon niggas. I don't like y'all. I am not one of y'all. We do not get along. And yeah, you jolly fat coons, y'all ashamed to the race. Go ahead. My
And
bad. Short.
he
I
would,
didn't mean to say that.
he
I didn't mean to
would
cut you off, brother. I just had to get that out.
but he would sell you out for a box of Bojangles too. And that's the thing I'm afraid of. People who can't control. When you can't keep a fork or spoon out of your mouth, how can I trust you with the reparations check? I just, I got my doubts, man.
That goddamn shit. Yeah, so man, these people right here, man, they are. That's why we appreciate you, Dr. Short, for being open and willing to call these people out and tell it like it is, because it got to be told like it is, and we need more like you.
Well, it's Brother Dewan. It's 23 is going to be good. Now, here's my forecast.
Go ahead.
As I always tell you, there's a book called The New Negro on Campus. Everybody that knows Black history knows that the new Black movement didn't start after World War II. It started in 1923. And so we're going into a new century cycle of struggle. They know this. This is why they were trying to jumpstart this fake ass cum sucking thing called black frauds, black liars matter, whatever the hell you want to call this shit. And it's failed. And they know that there's going to be a new movement, and it's starting literally. All the stuff you saw today and saw this year, I'm sorry, was a precursor to greater activity on a grassroots basis all over the country that's decentralized that they can't stop. And they're very nervous. and it's not going to get better. Plus, the tech giants are going to collapse significantly next year. They're
Maybe.
already laying off and firing people, which means that the stranglehold, like, I got put off of Twitter for asking would Obama support the pedophile movement, and they told me that was violating community standards. They didn't even tell me; they just took the account. Of all
That
the things,
doesn't make sense though. That I've
yes, it
never heard of them suspend someone based on someone saying something that way, wording it that way.
that's no, you don't understand. The people in these things support human trafficking and pedophilia. I am under shadow ban across the internet, brother. Dewan will tell you, put my name up and stuff start going wrong. And
Look,
I'm not,
real
I'm
quick
not,
before you even go there. When I put Dr. Short's name in I had to stop putting it in my YouTube because my YouTube, every time I get to my videos gets to the point of getting 25, 30,000 views, I'll do something with Dr. Short, and his name will come in. Next thing you know, videos are back down to 50. Anytime my videos are going less than 5,000 views, it's usually sometime for about a month. The next month after I put Dr. Short's name in my title. And if I didn't, that's why I don't interview Dr. Short as much on YouTube. I'll do it here on Twitter and post a Twitter space without putting his name in it. Because one thing, I thought I was being slick by not putting Dr. Short's name in the title, but I would put it on the thumbnail. They even look at that. So I'm already knowing. And that's how I don't really give a fuck about numbers. I'm not in this shit for the numbers or whatever. Because I could have been blew my shit up with all of it. So A-list people I know, I could have been blew my shit over 1 million followers with the people I know. It's not about that. It's about the substance of information. But Dr. Short, without not his fault, but because of how YouTube operates, every single time we talk, my next month and a half of videos is 1,500 to 4,000 views. I go a month and a half without talking to Dr. Short, videos 7,000 views, 8, 10, 15, 8,000. When I'm over on the caffeine app, not YouTube, caffeine ain't got nowhere near the base as YouTube. But my videos on caffeine, I have 2,000 people listening to me live every Tuesday at 2:30. No advertisements. No, everybody else on the app got a big name. I don't. I'm the only nigga on the app without a big name. But I got 2,000 people live in that bitch every Tuesday. But when I come over here to YouTube, it's on that bullshit because they shut down my Skype because of Dr. Short, and I still call Dr. Short. If they want to shut down my Skype, we gonna do this shit through Zoom. They want to shut down my Zoom, we gonna do a Twitter space. They want to shadow ban my YouTube, I just gonna put your name in the title. Fuck the views. The people meant to see it are gonna see it. And that's how serious it is in the yard with Dr. Short. This shit don't come freely, y'all. Interviewing Dr. Short, talking like we do, has come at a cost. My monetization, I don't, even if I don't cuss, my shit's on a permanent like orange. I don't get the green monetization, meaning you get the most money. They either demonetize me or I'm permanently on moderate monetization. Have I ever told any of my YouTube audiences? No. Why? Because all that matters is those who want to hear Dr. Short speak, God damn it, they gonna hear him speak as long as I have a channel. And if YouTube want to shut it down, when I'm over here on caffeine, they won't. So that's what it takes to bring you guys this information. And I want to say this, Dr. Short, but I'm gonna let you go back to it. I'm gonna keep doing it, and I don't even want Dr. Short is in the past has apologized like Dwan. I know, no hell no. I know what the fuck I'm doing. I want you to speak. I need you to speak. We need you to speak. We need this information, and if they want to take away my money, fuck them. We gonna do it anyway.
So basically, he gets the Rizza Islam treatment because if you decide to upload anything and then put Rizza Islam's name in it, they're gonna tag your stuff too.
Oh yeah,
Most of he uploads a lot of his stuff to YouTube, but I noticed that if you put something of his that has his name in it on YouTube, they mark it. They'll like pull it down or something like that.
yeah. Dr. Randy Short. That's why he's under Salt Ministries. He can't do the Coon Buster like or his real name because even on Skype, like me and Dr. Short used to do stuff through Skype a lot. I can't Skype. That's why all of our interviews are now behind camera. If you go back to our interviews 2 years ago, we were both on camera. Getting to his Skype is a bitch because Skype be hating on him. So it's like Dealing with Dr. Short this ain't no peaches and cream shit. But we do it because we love the people. Fuck the money. I get it somewhere else. I got 4 businesses. I get money. But go ahead, Dr. Short.
I am so sorry. I do. I try to get people other guests because I don't want them to go. Look, what people need to understand, it's real simple. I was on the phone talking to some brother who's from New York, who's living in England. We talked for a couple of hours. I have an international following. I have called out the government of Israel, U.S., Britain. They've scrubbed maybe 1,000 videos of mine off the internet of all types. Okay, I must have reached a huge number of people, and they don't like. I was told by the news director for the Iranian state television that they don't have me on. They didn't have me on television when they were negotiating with the United States because the people were that angry with me personally. It was requested, keep Short off. We won't even get a nuclear agreement behind how angry white people are with us for having it. That's a quote. You're threatening international relations between the United States and Iran, talking about racism in America. That's what the director of their news said, not me. Are you following me? And so it's much bigger than what it looks. If you really get into the substance of what many of us are trying to do, you may not get a large following, not because you're not saying stuff that people don't agree with, don't like, don't want. They don't want you to have it. They decide what you can get. It's like the music that's on the radio that's formatted by white execs who couldn't care a damn about whether the music's good. They hate black people. They just do what the majors and the other people tell them to do. We don't get good music. We get the music that they're going to give us. So you don't get to hear a variety of opinions and voices. They're not allowing you to have it. It has nothing to do with me per se. It has something to do with us. And apparently, whatever Brother Dwan and some of the rest of us are doing, it's making an impact on people that are not supposed to be reached. So the best thing they can do is silence people. Rizza Islam's not bad. There's nothing wrong with him. It's because he's having an impact. And they don't want that. And so Rizza's far bigger than me. And I'm happy. I'm not trying to be famous. If I become famous, it's the will of the Most High. What I want to be is effective. And apparently some of us are effective, even with just a few people. They're terrified. I want to remind all of you, less than 10,000 black people out of 24 million black people were the main thrust of the civil rights movement. Less than 10,000. That's how scared they are of a few of us that are tired of the shit.
That's real talk, Dr. Short.
They're very much afraid of us. And by the way, if I were talking about guns and I hate white people, they would love that. I don't talk about that. There's a message, and you need to understand that Twitter and Facebook, the people that run this, they're deviants. They're sex predators. They're filth. And y'all need to understand that in 2019, I spearheaded with other people a push against gay people getting rights that black people fought for. And our little teeny tiny group shook up the whole damn Congress. They came for me, People for the American Way, ACLU, Southern Poverty Law. And when they attacked me, this is going to make y'all laugh. White people agreed with me. And I saw a little note, we can't make a martyr out of this person. If we attack him, we'll make him big. So you don't look at how they're attacking Kanye. I dare someone to give me that kind of exposure. They will not give that. There's certain people they're not going to attack, Tariq. Notice how this reparations thing is not in the news. How Riza Islam never gets interviewed. They know certain ones of us will shadow the algorithm of the programming that they're doing. So you're not allowed to hear. Dick Gregory got murdered. People, they kill people. There is a psychological, spiritual struggle. If you just read over the whole thing for COINTELCOUNTERPRO, it's to prevent the rise of a black messiah. They use this in spiritual religious terms, that there's going to be someone or several people of a type that have charisma that can electrify black people to stand up. They are fighting the dope that Dwan's talking about, the fentanyl coming in, all of these things are about holding us down. And persons that can inspire and enlighten people, whether it's my friend Larry Pinkney or other, they have been after some of us. I was told people started following me when I was 17 for doing a policy paper about the United States and Africa. So, what am I, 57? They've been following me for 40 years. It's and they've been following a bunch of us. If you think stuff just happens to you by happenstance, I disagree with you. You need to understand that we live in a racial police state, and they do target people. I did a show, 11 years ago, talking about slavery in Libya in 2011. And I was told by a gentleman that the Boule and all the black news people would never, ever have me on any of their programs because I denounced Obama and I said that there would be black slavery in Libya. I said this in April of 2011. Well, if all you guys need to do is Google and see if slavery took off in Libya in 2011, which it did, with the help of the Obama White House. So I was proven correct, but no one's come back and said that, I was wrong. I caused a U.S. program to militarize Africa to fail by exposing Ebola as a U.S. government program in 2014. And that's when the FBI and other people came and they said I kidnapped some white woman. They threw a friend of mine in jail. They kidnapped her in 2019. Allegedly, I turned a white woman out and made her give secrets to some Arab country. And I'm not even kidding with white women like this. But anyway, so somebody thinks I'm some kind of spy. If this is fucking James Bond, he wouldn't get any ass because he would be broke. But anyway, but we don't care. I like God. I like my people. Fuck them. I'm going to keep doing it until I drop dead. More power to the people. Wazi wazi to the sisters and my warrior brothers, Wabrus. We don't care. We don't have a choice. Our backs are to the wall. Most of us haven't recognized it. There's no way out but to fight our way out. But we have to fight intelligently. That's what I tell people. And so I'm no martyr. I'm lucky. I know folk have been killed. There have been people around us, Dwan, people who've been killed. Nobody has killed me. Mm-hmm. So I'm lucky. I'm happy to be alive. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, we're gonna keep on going because there's no other choice. You know what I mean? Than to expose and put what's out there. You know what I mean? I remember when I was early on in comedy, when I made the transition from just doing regular old funny jokes to being more politically conscious, the laughs actually started getting bigger when I did that. But the black gatekeepers on the low level was basically like, either you're going to change it up or you ain't going to really get out there like that. And I didn't change it up, so I didn't get out there. So I had to go ahead and take the long road. And I'm glad I did because when I tried to do it their way, I don't even do stand-up comedy like that no more, but because I wanted it to get me to kind of where more so on radio, and I'm on radio now, so I don't have the need for it like I used to. But I still get on stage every now and again because I like making people laugh. But I understood early on that going the mainstream route wasn't going to work for me. And everyone around me understood that too. And if I could tell you how many people that are like comedians and writers on your favorite TV shows and perform on your favorite TV shows, for the last 10 years, I've been the person that they inbox when they want to know what's really going on, when they want something said that they really can't say. And so it is a lot of people up there in the game that do have a black first ideology and they do have the right mindset, but they know in order for them to survive, they can't speak out about that. And so this is real when we talk about this stuff, about them not dealing with people who are vocal. When you're vocal, it is made to you very clear. They don't come to you in any uncertain terms. It's very clear. The way you talk is scary, and you have a choice. And the way I look at things, I'm not going to tell Hollywood to change. I just said I can't fuck with you. And for me, thank God somebody like a Corey Holcomb who chose that route also. Whenever he get a shot, reach back and help me out, put me up on 5150 and do stuff like that, because Corey Holcomb understands that people who talk real ain't gonna get the shot. So it's a few people up in the game that do their best to throw little alley oops and passes when they get a chance. And so I said, why am I saying all that? So that to know that even though things look a certain way on the surface level, understand that people that think like you, me, we, I, us, they're all over the place. It's just a lot of them know in order for them to survive in their particular environment, they can't say anything. So if you're out there, don't get discouraged. Stay encouraged. Know that people feel you. Know that whatever you're saying is not going on deaf ears. You're getting heard on all levels. And if you're the kind of person that you like me or Dr. Short, and you can't avoid speaking out, but speak out, you know what I mean? Understand that, certain jobs ain't gonna let you do it. So you're gonna have to figure out a way to make your income to in a way that is not dependent upon these type jobs and these type environments. And I had to go through that metamorphosis to learn that. But when you learn that process, when you take that leap of faith and go for that thing that you have inside of you that you've been scared to address head on, when you take that leap of faith and do it, what comes with that is a freedom to express yourself. So don't be afraid. I do want to get to the people who are speaking because we've had them in for a long time. I know first was why. I want to go to why. What was that? Why they do me like that? You were first. I think Save was second, and then after that, I think it was seventh and Afro Elite. But go ahead. Why they do me like that?
Thank you, Dwan. Thank you, Nikki. And thank you so much, Dr. Short. Hello, everybody to the room. So I just wanted to nominate a couple of people for the Coons of the Year because 2022, I think the veil was lifted and a lot of stuff was revealed, which is one thing I'm grateful for. So a couple of my nominations are Narc and Cobra and all of their sympathizers for trying to push race-based reparations and also have their dashiki electric slide parties instead of advocating for Black empowerment. I think they are probably going to take the cake. Another people that I couldn't remember the other. There was one other that I wanted to nominate, but then there was also the guy. I don't think he knows that he's a raccoon because he might be blinded with his fez. But it's the man who requested to be paid in gold bullion and denounced getting cash reparations payments. So he was another one, but I don't necessarily think he's a full coon. I think he just has like maybe a raccoon tail attached to his pants and he's just a little misguided. So I wanted to offer those nominations for the Raccoons of the Year, basically for Narcan and Cobra and all of their sympathizers. Hi, Sheila Jackson Lee. Hi, Grills. Thank you guys.
That was a good one right there. That was a good one right there. Yeah, the dude talking about some gold bullion. And like, what was he gonna do? Put on a mask and melt it down, turn it into a nugget ring for him and all of his fellow Moorish Science Temple brothers. No disrespect to y'all, but y'all know y'all old niggas like wearing them nugget rings. And that's my Ivor rule. If you see a black man in a Cadillac and a nugget ring, he ain't talking about shit.
But
Yeah.
what I want to say to you, why is it militant to wear a circus monkey hat? I'm just saying.
Yeah, I want to watch Aladdin every time I see one myself. Uh, but next we had was that Save?
Savannah.
Savannah? Okay,
It's
cool. Go
Savannah,
ahead.
but I like Sav.
That.
So yeah, I mean, you guys talked about a lot, and there was so much that I wanted to comment on. But obviously, the coons that I want to talk about first. Can we talk about academia? Just any and all coons who were one pushing that excuse me, that whatever, y'all know what I'm talking about, on students, and maybe gave them that ultimatum or whatever. Also, too, that Nigerian woman who played the gay card, and everybody forgot that she was calling us Hakadas. When she went on that whole tangent with the queen, fuck that queen. And then all the coons who was crying with the queen, like, that irritated me. Like, sorry, I'm just gonna calm down on that one. Dr. Short, Nikki, Dewan, thank you so much for holding this space, because you were right. Like, I needed this space. You were talking about just like these corporate jobs. Like, I'm about to just quit my job because at the end of the day, they're not about to take my peace. They want us to be docile. You talked about here in Columbus, that 13-year-old boy, Sensei, who was killed. Tyree King was killed my freshman year here at OSU, and it was very, very interesting to see our Black student union be so quiet. But it made so much sense when majority of the Black students that OSU do accept are Africans, and they gonna tap dance, they gonna whatever, and they're not gonna make any noise. So that was super depressing to go through that. So right now, it feels like the years repeats itself. It's about to be 100 years on my birthday that there was a mob of 200 white men who killed a Black family in Rosewood, Florida. Over 30, there was 30, it was like 30 men and women. They went and killed and just demolished. Arkansas, there was a race riot. And that started the mass migration of Black people from Arkansas. 1923 was a different kind of year, because they were really trying us, and they really forget that we are not anyone else. We don't run away, we don't flee, we don't try to go. We gonna fight y'all. And to see that they keep going after our little boys, it's and they let them off. So it's just super depressing, but it's also good to see that there's also other Black people who are bothered by a lot of this stuff that's going on, and that we're not crazy, that what is going is psychological warfare. And it's they want us to be docile, and it's we can't. It's not in our blood. So it's do they want to ignite another race war? Will 23 be
They,
that year?
they really do. And I don't want you to go anywhere. I want to ask you, if you're in Ohio, I need you to be in touch with me, because I'm developing a thing called the People's Report. And my partner and I want to talk about Sensei Reed's murder. And we need to have some people get down on McAllister. This Black judge should be made ashamed. And there's also a little Black coon minister, the Interfaith Alliance. His name is Coates. He's a fat Negro preacher who's pushing the jab in Columbus. Okay, and a lot of killings go on in Ohio, and they've not been doing that. There's 111 people that have been killed in Columbus this year, and they've killed about 3 children. And we've got to say no to this. And we actually can say no. We are going to have to work as a network across the country. There's certain things that can be done. For example, the family, you may know someone that knows the family. The family hasn't been able to get the kind of attention that they want. Maybe we can do that. I don't know. But something must be done. We must protect the children. We must protect our sisters. We've got to do better. We encourage people to kill all the more. That man is walking around strutting that murdered this kid. And yet if we have a beef, we have folks shoot each other over a bad look. All the guns on the street, and this dude hasn't caught a bottle upside his head. Not that I'm inciting people to violence, but it's interesting how a white man can murder a Black person and there be no consequence. But when we murder one another, I mean, folk will shoot sisters and grannies and all this other kind of stuff. We've got to overcome this fear of striking out against people that strike at us. And I'm not encouraging people to be violent against anyone, but with all due honesty, if that had been a white child shot in the back of the head and shot down, white folk would have burnt the car and everything else. And we're going to have to the thing that you talk about in 23. Even in Helena, Arkansas, as the black folks were armed, they did fight back. No one's fought in Columbus. And I think you have a black mayor. If you don't, that's one thing. And I'll just say this to you, that y'all in Ohio, and this is going to sound mean, y'all need to call Dave Chappelle's ass out. That's the most visible black person from Ohio that talks about race. Now, when the white dude shot all the people in Dayton, he said something. He lives less than an hour and a half from Columbus. Now, Negro, you making $80 million a year, and you're supposedly a voice of black folk, at least as a comedian. You could talk about that shit in Columbus. You hear what I'm saying? We need to start contacting and making people speak. Celebrities, you name it. Stop going places saying that you give a damn or you're relevant when people get murdered in cold blood and you can't say anything. Celebrities are not leaders, but I want to say this to you. Sidney Poitier from Bahamas. What's his name? Harry Belafonte from Jamaica. Marian Anderson, an FBA. Paul Robeson, an FBA. Black people who have the ability to reach the public used to speak up. We should demand that people speak up. And I said this, and quote me, and please share this with Tariq. I said it. I said to Tariq on a space, we need to have a boycott for all of 23. Initially, I think Tariq says, well, boycotts are old school. We don't need to do that anymore. Then the subsequent thing, he said, boycotts are okay. You in Ohio can call for a boycott and we can figure out something. The shit's so fucking depressed. They would give in to you. You yourself.
Ohio was more segregated now than it was back during segregation.
It makes no difference. Black people are 11, 12% of the population in Ohio. Most businesses are in bad shape. If they lost 10% of their business, they'd collapse. You could destroy any business that you want. The day that white men blow their brains away at their desk in their office is the day that you get justice. Stop wanting to be in love with everybody. I don't want to be in a hot tub with a bigot or a Nazi. It's repulsive. And I, by the way, I don't preach hatred against anyone, but everyone must hurt. Columbus has a business. Dayton, all these cities have businesses. Things could change. In fact, let me tell you why you will never get justice in Ohio. There's a little no good nigger by the name of Kenneth Blackwell. I don't know if he's either from Columbus or Cincinnati, one of the two, where he was mayor. But he's a big shot in the Republican Party, and he sits on the board of what? JINSA, the Jewish Institute for National Security Affairs. So you have a black man who sits on the board of a group that sends police to Israel to learn how to kill black people like Jews, and Israel kill Palestinians. And it's Ohio, if you wonder why there's never any justice there. And he's the highest ranking black Republican in America.
Oh, you mean Wexner University? I mean, Ohio State University? You mean, oh, wow. So this is all coming together. Listen, I was fighting. So I when I was in undergrad, so I was a student government. I was a senator for off campus. And so we pushed through a bill for the university to divest from companies that were profiting from human rights violations. And I tell you, I know I was put on the list. I'm on a list called Canary Missions, where they basically just dox you and put all your information. I'm like, I got followed.
They're based at
Hillel. I know Hillel hate me. Hillel hate me.
Hillel works with the intelligence. But look, they've got an office in Columbus, an office in Cincinnati. They have an office in every major city, and they spy on black people. This is just a fact. However, no one says anything. Why? Because all the coons and the boule people are funded with crumbs by certain Jewish organizations. Do I hate Jews? No. In fact, I'm enrolling to study Hebrew at the Hebrew University of Jerusalem. I'm of Jewish descent. I'm black and proud. I'm a Hebrew, okay? That's just a fact. But nobody has the right to hate and kill us, okay? You can contact me because you have good energy. You're a warrior sister, and I've got to be able to do something that can help you. The scriptures say, silver and gold have I none, but such as I have, I give thee. I'm certain that you can be aided and assisted, but I'm going to tell you, this guy, Mr. Blackwell, who's also on the America First Policy Institute for Donald Trump, nobody ever calls out coon-ass niggers on the Republican side, and we barely do Democrats. We have to declare war on coons. Mr. Blackwell and other such persons, in fact, there shouldn't be any public money going to Genza. We shouldn't be funding. Why can't police training be done in the United States, which isn't that good any damn way? Why do they need to go to Israel to learn how to torture and kill us? It doesn't make any sense. Israel has human rights problems. Why would we go there? Why not go to Canada? It's a lot closer. This is a deliberate thing that's going on. We are being targeted. No one will speak up. When I talk to people, it goes in one ear and out the other. Niggers' eyes glaze over when you give them important information. I'm glad you're listening. You can reach me, direct message me. All the sisters on this call can vouch. It won't be a booty call. It will be business. Okay, I respect sisters, so I'm not trying to hook up with you, but I do think I can help. I do think I can introduce. I do believe that there's something that can be done to generate something to happen around it. So this is why we need these spaces. This is why we need people like Brother Dwan and Sister Isla.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Dr.
So we need you. This brother's giving me space. Other people turn their back on me. That's okay. I'm not mad. I just keep doing it. So reach out, sister. We need to take another call. You know how to reach me.
Do that. Reach out and do that. I appreciate you. And I just got one thing to say to you, sister, real quick. We got to get to the next call. Don't let this stuff get in your head. You know what I mean? Look at it for what it is. White supremacy is a business. It's a business, and that's all it is. You got to see it as that. You got to see these are people that do not. All these things that we say are 100% true. They do want to kill us. They don't want to see us ahead, but that's their agenda. You know, just because that's their agenda don't mean it's gonna happen. You gotta create your own, and we gotta get on code our agenda. Fuck their agenda.
Yes, sorry, Dr. Short, follow me back
basketball.
because I don't have my inbox open.
Yeah, do that.
You gotta follow me.
Yeah, follow back. Just like when I used to coach basketball, it's not about what the other team is running. It's about what you're running. And so don't let what they do get in your head. Just keep your head clear to run your game the right way. And that's for everybody. It's not personal. It's just a system that people who have inferior resources, inferior skills, and they can't stand in the sun for more than 20 minutes at a time. They need you to be who you are so they can live their best life. They can't live their best life if they have to be the ones that put in the work.
Yeah,
So
they tethers too. They tether off of us too.
yeah,
Everything off of us.
they're the primary tethers. They're the main tethers. You got everything that we learned. These people we call tethers learn tethering from them. All they're doing is
We need to use a better word.
so what they do is let's come up with a better word. So what happened is they need to go ahead and these are people that's just who they are, and we got to make sure that they're gonna be who they are. We just got to focus on being who we are. But I do want to get to the next people. I know we had. I don't know if
it was Afro Elite. He's next.
Go ahead.
Thank you for letting me speak. Shout out to you, Dwan. Nikki, shout out to you. Shout out to Dr. Randy Short. How are you all doing this evening? I'm going to be very brief, very brief. And I wanted to speak. What made me speak is when you talked about how every time you try to have a conversation or put Dr. Randy Short on your platform on YouTube or even on Twitter Spaces, because Twitter Spaces people don't talk about it as much, but that can be shadow banned as well too. You can have a gossiping space where y'all talking about nonsense that has to do nothing with black empowerment, and they got 200, 300 people in the room. If you're talking about something that's very productive, very constructive, there's only like 35 people in the room. So a lot of that is the fact that Twitter Spaces is shadow banned as well too. But I wanted to get up there and I wanted to say, when we say that we're shadow banned as people who create content, as people who even make Twitter Spaces, is not because we just feel this way. And I've said this before in other spaces. It's not because we just feel this way. It's because we know for a fact what the numbers are. Dwan B, he knows what his numbers are. He knows what type of views he gets. And he knows for a fact that if his views just start decreasing, just is a stark decrease for no reason outside of the fact that he had Dr. Short on his platform, he knows that's the reason. So I want to get up here and I want to salute to the people who are brave enough to put Dr. Short on their platform. Salute to the people like Dr. Short who are brave enough to even speak on these things. Salute to the people like Rizza Islam. I think he's had like at least 12 different Instagram and Twitter accounts within the last year or so, like the last couple years, and he keeps on doing it. He's not letting that stop him. He's on it, like every time he gets a chance, he's on it. And it's very dangerous. It's not just annoying. A lot of people think that, oh yeah, it's annoying having to make another account again, having to, get your numbers back up again. That's more than just annoying. That's very scary. It's very dangerous. There's a lot of people that have put in a lot of work, a lot of people that have sacrificed their lives for black empowerment, and people we do not know of. We say the names of Dr. King and Malcolm X, and we know them and salute to them forever. But there's a lot of other people like them that we don't know and that we will never know. They died for the cause and we will never know their name. So I just want to get up here and I want to give a salute to everybody who's putting in the work and who's making the sacrifices necessary. And just because you're not, maybe being followed by the FBI doesn't mean you're not important either. I don't want to, undermine anybody's work that they're doing. And that's all I have to say.
For sure, man. I appreciate that. We had Black Alpha up here early. He left. I guess he had to get. I wanted to get to him. He left. I guess. But Mark, you you next, Mark. You there, brother?
Mark, mute yourself, Mark, okay?
Yeah, I'm sorry I had to pick up my phone. Sorry. But I was accidentally selected up here. But since I'm up here, I'll speak.
I
I
was
won't be very
surprised you were
long.
speaking. You don't say shit. But go ahead.
I know, but salute to you, man. Shout out to you, brother Dewan, Nikki, Dr. Short. We got a chance to talk on the phone a few times through our mutual friend Devin. But yeah, I just have to say throughout the year, man, just the amount of cooning has just been crazy. You know, people who I never thought would coon out, just I'm like, damn. But I think the biggest coon, everybody knows Stephen A. And
Protocol.
yes, yes, and plus, just finding out he's not an FBA, so that solidifies
The A
his
stands
cooning.
for ass.
Yeah, but for 2023, I just want us to keep progressing as Black people, as FBA. Proud to be FBA. I just keep growing. And just stay focused. We gonna get our reparations. I tell everybody we gonna get it. So when we get it, all the ones that say we ain't gonna get it, when we get it, you just hand your check over to me. I do something with it. But
Real talk.
thanks for letting me come up here and letting me speak. I'm not much of a public speaker, but hey, Everybody have a good evening, and I'll land my plane right there.
Yes, sir. That's another thing I want to say to people that's going around talking about some. Um, everybody, we need. That's what we need to do in 2023. Take note of all them people that was saying we ain't gonna get reparations. Where they at right now? where are y'all right now? Because now you notice the people that have been saying all these years we're never gonna get reparations. Now they're just quiet. Like they're not saying. The only people saying we're not going to give reparations now are usually tethers and people who in the immigrant side of the game or that are black, but they won't qualify. But the black Americans who used to say that, most of those Negroes are quiet. I want to let y'all know that we ain't forgot who you are. Hey, Black Alpha, if you want to speak, come on back up. I saw you in here earlier. I wanted to get to you. Um, so
I
yeah.
just sent him an invite.
All
So
right, cool. Yeah, 'cause Black Alpha always got that positive, good energy. Um, so what's so we these people have been quiet. So like now that we're getting into it, I want to remind people of basically how people act. It's really only gonna be less than 10% of the people who ever push for anything. Like Dr. Short said earlier, when he talked about the number of people who are involved in the civil rights movement versus the amount who weren't. It's gonna be a handful that really push for something, and it's gonna be less than a handful who really push against it. Usually those pushing against are just the loudest and the dumbest, but they're just the loudest. And most people, the other 90%, 92% are gonna be somewhere in the middle. And the rest of those sheep are gonna follow along with whatever is the most popular, whatever is the most loud. So going back to what I was saying earlier about people not getting caught up in what white folks is thinking, because it don't matter what they think. All that matters is those of us who are 10 toes down stay 10 toes down, and the rest of those followers, the minute it starts sounding a little bit popular, they're going to fall in line. You notice there wasn't that much pushback about our rally outside of a few degenerates here and there, and most of the people that pushed back is ex-cons that probably got records, and and you know what that means. No disrespect to the ex-cons. I'm just talking about a lot of these people with that, they all getting a paycheck from somebody. We all know what I mean. So when it comes to the people who aren't getting the woonty wham boonty bamps, they understand that we are doing what we're doing, and then you see they're going silent. So as more of us continue to pound the pavement, as more of us continue to speak up and say what we have to say, we're going to start seeing them fall in line the same way they do with civil rights. Most of the people during the civil rights movement was cooning too. They just wanted to go ahead and live their life and not deal with race. We're not going to sit here and act like now it was a whole mass of black people. When you go back and listen to a lot of those interviews during the 50s and when you listen during the 60s and what they had to say about Malcolm X and Dr. King, it was so many people talking about, I wish they would just shut up. So we got to know that those of us in this room, we are the minority. But as long as we keep speaking, the rest of those followers are going to fall in line because that's the only thing they know how to do, grazing the grass. Dr. Short, you got something to say?
Oh no, I was listening to you, Brother Dewan. But a lot of Negroes, I'm just telling you, they think everything's free. I mean, weed, pussy, freedom, the things that matter expensive, I'm sorry. And bad weed, bad pussy, and bad freedom, which is what we have. The shit that's free ain't worth having.
That is real talk. The shit that's free is not worth having. Sav, you back.
Yeah, Dr. Short, you talked about how they said something about you attempting to take hostage of someone white. They said that about my great granddad, Melvin Birch. He was a Black Panther, and they said that he tried to abduct the mayor's son, and the son met with my cousin, who's like my great uncle's namesake, and he said that wasn't the case. This is when they were rounding up and killing Black Panthers just because. Um, and so like that whole thing of just like taking people hostage, it's kind of hard to really kind of like really see what's true. Like, they tell you hate the people, or the saying, like, hate the people the media, or love the people the media tell you to hate, and hate the people the media tell you to love. Like, that saying is kind of going really true, because if you didn't know my great uncle, then you wouldn't know the true story around that. Also, too, Nikki, can you please look that up, because like that's something that's kind of concerning me, because yeah, literally 3 days
You talking
before
about
Christmas.
what you just back channeled me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Give me a
Like
minute. Okay.
literally like 3 days before Christmas. Anyways, so like I've been having a really hard time, like first off, understanding why is it that when we like have like, I don't know, because I guess you had said something, Dewan, about just excuse me, not Dewan, Dr. Short. You said something about our mayor. So we don't have a black mayor, and Blackwell. I met him, and like now that you even said that, like I feel crazy. Like I don't even want to like. Anyway, so demeanor is just crazy. Another person I wonder if you have tea on is the I can't even think of his name right now. But anyways, just another large donor, the Keith B. Key. I don't know if you know Keith B. Key. He was a football player, but there's just a lot of like human trafficking that goes on when it comes to our children, and especially the foster care system. And like a lot of our elected officials and politicians and police know. So like that's like another topic.
Real quick, could you just wrap it up into one question you want to ask Dr. Short, so because I'm not gonna be here all night. Just give
I'm
one
sorry, my
point.
bad. I'll cut it out. Yep. Because it's because my biggest thing is just like how can like a person like take on. Never mind. It's like a long-winded question, basically.
You just do. Let me just say this. I can answer it. One of the reasons that we've been raising hell about pork chop feminism is that the energy that was spent going after R. Kelly and Bill Cosby and making the Stallion's boyfriend, why isn't that energy used to protect black children and women? You get all of this angst, sturm, and strang from certain elements of black women, but stuff that really matters, like these no good foreigners, illegals, are demanding $30 an hour to do DoorDash. And yet black women that have been cleaning hotels and doing all kinds of work, equally valuable, no one's advocating for them to get 20 or 15 an hour. There's been a movement, black women have been hijacked by white lesbian feminists and sellout black women lesbians. And they have diverted black women from using their power to fight for women, fight for children, and to fight in solidarity with black men. You don't need anybody but yourself and one or two people to change the whole thing. If you start looking at the news, how they're constantly massaging the political clitoris of black women with how great and how loyal and how important they are, they've been lulling black women to sleep for the last 40 years to keep supporting this bullshit that you're complaining about. Black women have to rebel against being the bottom bitch of the progressives, and all of a sudden this would change. But because they understand that there is a gender civil war in our community, that they've still been able to hijack, all they have to do is say woman. And that's enough to boondoggle 70 to 80% of black females. Then all of the energy that would be there to protect our children in child and family services and so forth would happen. A handful of white mothers here in suburban DC challenged the pedophilia. It changed the political landscape of the country. You, my sister, are powerful enough to change it. As I said, you know how to contact me. We look for and pray for, damn it, where are the new Fannie Lou Hamers? Where are the angry black women? Well, it's nice to meet you. Inbox me, let other people communicate. We can have a more quality conversation. I can introduce you to a person or two because this is part of what we'd like to see happen, and I'll discuss that offline. So I'd be more than happy. I think I've added you. There's no reason why you can't contact me. If you can't catch me, you can contact Nikki. You can contact Dwan.
She's in contact with me, so I'll keep y'all
There's
connected.
no reason that people, I'm not trying to be a celebrity, so I don't have a problem talking to serious people, just not bullshit like the person that I think that's on drugs that wants me to pay 3 months of their rent. And they thought because it's Christmas, I have $1,500 to give them.
Fuck 'em.
Oh,
So
Jesus help us.
Sound like my drunk uncle.
we
Oh,
got
yeah,
to
well,
put out there like that. That's why, like, I appreciate you, Dr. Short, for that. I appreciate the questions, but let's get the room back on track. We about to end it in a little bit because I know I've had you guys for a long time. I want to get back to some of the things we're talking about year in review. So as we review, I want to send a shout out to everybody: Michael Wharton in here, Isla, Major, Star, Nicole, Quanes. I love y'all for real, for real. And more of y'all. It's more in here. That I just got some of y'all. I know I don't. Some of y'all follow me on YouTube, but I don't know y'all Twitter names. Those
Cool
are just
Breeze
the ones.
Steve in the room too. Stephen Pettis.
Yeah,
He's a writer for real.
yeah. Mark A, you spoke a little bit earlier. It's a lot of y'all. It's a lot of people in here, and
this
I
is that
talk
nigga with
I
the
talk
guns in Vegas.
time. It was like when I used to talk like this. 10 years ago, when we all know that are in here. It's this kind of conversation wasn't popular 10 years ago. You know what I mean? It wasn't popular at all. We all of us individually would have these thoughts, but to have these conversations openly, if you were having these conversations openly, you were in the small. We're still in the minority, but the people who you have on the same side of you, who you can hold an intelligent conversation with on this level, they were few and far in between 10 years ago. We had a little more. It got a little more balanced 5 years ago. Right now, it's way better. And imagine where it's going to be in 5, 10 years, 30 years if we continue to have these high level conversations. So, I should salute and appreciate to everybody in here because I'm in the social media in the game when it comes to what's going on with some of this Hollywood shit. And they always telling us people don't have attention spans. Make everything a 1 minute clip. Make everything a 2 minute clip. Make You got to be fast. You got to talk about the topic of the day. And the people in here listening, we've been in here 2 hours and 20 minutes. Um, you guys are stuck in here. It shows that people do have an attention span. People do have things they want to talk about that's more than the latest bullshit on the news. And the fact that we're all in here, we having this kind of conversation, it shows that we're trending in the right direction. We ain't where we're gonna be, but we want to make sure that just because you're not where you want to be, don't mean you ain't gonna get there. And I think right now we're on the right road and the right path there. So one thing I take away from 2022 is every year it's been consistent for a solid decade now. We could probably go back further than that, but since Trayvon Martin was a decade ago, y'all, it don't seem like it, but that shit was a fucking decade ago. And every year of the last decade, more and more and more black people have been getting on code. So if we continue with this trend, reparations wasn't a word 10 years ago. You still looked at like an idiot 3 years ago talking about it. Now it's the word of the day when it comes to politics. So if it's the word of the day now, by the time we get to the 2030 election, it's going to be the word of the election because by then we're going to be probably working on our second or third round of reparations if we keep doing what we're doing right now. Dr. Short, go ahead.
Get up here, Black Voltron.
Oh,
I
Black
just
Vote.
sent you a mic.
Oh, yeah, Black Voltron. Get on the mic, nigga. Go ahead, Dr. Short.
Oh, well, no, look, I agree. I can say this. We need our motherfucking money. Okay. We need our motherfucking money and we need it. And we've got to have our money. It's late. Okay. It's the same way people went wild when their EBT cards didn't function. we have more reason than somebody that's missing their Velveeta cheese to want to raise a hell up in this Johnson. And before this empire goes down, we better get a paycheck, because when it collapses, whoever replaces them is going to treat us worse. The only thing that's going to insulate us from the collapse of this thing is that we have some cash and we have some power tools.
Cash and tools and cash. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And these are the kind of conversations that we're having more and more and more as time moves forward. And I think we need to keep having these conversations. Oh, we got a new speaker. Go ahead, speaker.
Hey, what's going on, brother Dwan, sister Nikki, and how you doing, Dr. Randy Short? You know, yeah, speaking of tools, I'm just now getting my company out. I do executive protection, my security company. So, and I'm doing some things that's dealing with sex trafficking and stuff, helping to protect our people with the sex trafficking and everything. So, putting together some stuff where I can teach our people as far as like self defense and stuff. So, I'm definitely, speaking of tools, definitely can bring some of that, to the table or whatnot. So, I would keep it short with that. Yield the mic.
Thank you so much, Stephen.
For sure. For sure. So yeah, any last words you want to say, Dr. Short?
Yes, for the sister and the human trafficking, people need to reach out. I have established with my colleague a group called the Black American Constitutional Political Action Committee, and we're interested in fighting against eugenics, which includes environmental genocide and all of these things. As we develop, I mean, we need to be in touch. It's finding people. We don't need that many people. We just need a few. What happens with the children and the trafficking, this could be fought. In fact, we need some women. And I have worked half of my adult life working on behalf of women's causes, even though I hate feminism. I love women, but folk who want to cut your penis off and do it Benihana style and make an omelet, that's not appealing to me. And we can fight the trafficking, we can fight the child and family services, but the main focus of Black women hijacked by white women has been killing Black babies and getting no-fault divorce. We have to come together, and we need a new movement among Black women for real shit, like money, like insurance, like housing. We need to get off of baby killing, getting divorced, and changing gender and cutting boobs off and so forth. And the younger women, the non-boomers, the millennials and Xers, and the Zs have to rebel against the boomer broads, the old ones with the saggy boobs and the big, ugly, puffy, sombrero-looking hats. They haven't done shit. It's time to retire them. And we have a cultural problem of respecting old niggas that never did anything except get chin hair and aches and pains. It's time to outsource those motherfuckers to Cleveland.
You're not very nice, Dr. Why do they have to have saggy boobs? I mean, God.
Nikki, you want to say anything to close it out?
I just want to say thank you for the space. There's really not much more that I could say that has not already been said. We've had our share of coons this year review. We all know who the worst ones are. I think Clarence Thomas is one of the worst ones, but I also think that who's that guy who has the half white son, who was running for office this year, and he's
girl stalker.
What you say?
White girl stalker.
White, yeah, basically. I think he's one of the biggest coons, but I think he's kind of slow, so maybe that makes him half of a coon.
Well, he's not slow getting these women pregnant that he's not married to. So his sperm is faster than his brain cells. See, that's a whole asymmetrical mixed match. That's why he can't have nothing now. So anyway, let me get off here. They're gonna come get y'all talking about these people.
Yes.
I'm gonna land my plane before I get into more trouble, man.
I want to say, close out. Thank you again, Dr. Short. Thank you for all the writers out there, the people who 10 toes down. We entered the year like what our brother Jason Black said. We're ending the year with people we entered the year with. A trend we're going to continue to see because as time moves forward. Excuse me, that blunt is hit. Oh, but as
Hey,
time,
his name is Herschel Walker. I just
yeah, Herschel
remember.
Walker, yeah.
Stalker.
Yeah. So as time moves forward, we're going to continue to see that trend because as things get more serious, the more we're gonna see who's serious and who aren't. But at the same time, as things get more serious, have fun. Don't let this white supremacy shit bog you down. This is designed to get in your brain, but you have the option of of how it affects you. You can see it for the chess game that it is, stay non-emotional and make your move, or you can take it on and take it personal. That's your choice. I would hope that you choose not to allow this system to get up under your skin. Matter of fact, you'll be more effective by not letting it get under your skin and being non-emotional about it and confronting it for what it is. So as we move forward into next year, when we see these coons, let's call them out. Y'all know the matrix that I use when it comes on who to call out. When I see a black person attacking white people, I shut up and allow it to play out, even if I don't agree with how they're doing it. If I see them attacking the system or people who run the system, say like a Kanye, I'm not a big fan of what he do, or I'm just using him as an example. But when I see them going at them, when they're making that move, I don't say anything because at least they're shooting the shots that way. The minute they turn it on us as black people, call them out immediately. Don't allow nobody to talk shit to us. Nobody, white, black, midgets, Mexicans, whoever. If they saying some shit, Acons, people like that, when they come at us, we respond and we respond fast. And when we respond, don't let it raise your blood pressure. Have fun. Use the same jokes you be telling on your cousin. You know what I mean? We see Akon with an African forehead and an FBA hairline. That shit don't match. Nigga look like that's like wearing Adidas shoes and Nike socks. It don't work. So when we talk about these people, let's have a good time. Don't let it stress you out. Make it part of your fun. Don't let these people say shit to us. But if we see somebody attacking those people, let them be, even if we don't understand the angle they come from, because we ain't going to ever always understand everybody else. But we don't allow these people to fuck with us. And I think if we keep that mentality of not getting fucked with, people going to stop fucking with us. Next year, at the end of 2023, it's going to be a whole lot different. I seriously doubt we see these Fat Joes and these Acons as freely with the lips as they are right now if we continue to do what we're doing. And so to that, I say, man, love yourself, love each other. And I appreciate you, Dr. Short, Nikki, and everybody else that's up in here. Yeah, we about to be out. We out. Follow me on all my shit at DwannB. Caffeine, Discord, YouTube, everything's the same at DwannB. IG, all that good shit. All right?
And DwannB, do a shout out. If you like Dr. Short, definitely support a brother. This is my Twitter page until they take it. And definitely bless us over the Cash App. We be using that for all kinds of stuff. I'm Dr. Randy Short. And I thank everybody that's done that. I have been getting all kinds of books and information. So I appreciate you. Dr. Randy Short, and that's the Cash App, or PayPal is wrandyshort@gmail. Definitely hook a brother up. I can absolutely use it for another book or resources. Freedom isn't free, nor is information.
Yeah,
And
his
I'm
cash app is in a jumbotron, y'all.
definitely hook me up. You know, Dwan, I got to get the rest of Dr. Winter's books. Man, I got a $300 book bill. I got to like kick that in the behind. But I thank you, everybody. Love you. Stand together. The song they used to sing, walk together, children, don't you get weary. There's a great camp meeting in the promised land where we get our damn checks. Good night.
Good night.